Welcome to Eat More Football, the show that satisfies your craving for hot takes. I'm TJ, and that's Noah down at the bottom, and this is Craig up in the corner. And we have a jam-packed show today. We will be talking Week 0 predictions, reactions to the AP Top 25, a new segment about the Top 20 group that we'll explain later, and we will be answering your questions later in the video. So I'm just going to jump right in and go to This Week in Sports. This week in sports, Urban Meyer has somehow climbed his way back into college football and football in general, being hired back by Fox. What do you have to say about that, everyone?
Ay, caramba.
He's like a cat with 9 lives, man.
He doesn't resurfacing. He doesn't go away, and there's no stopping him. There's no stopping.
He's gonna try to find a way to get Carlos Hyde up in the Fox Sports booth.
And then in other news, Dan Mullen has also been hired. 2 terrible, awful people. I mean, Dan Mullen's not that awful, but Urban Meyer, yeah, I think we can agree on that. But both hired back into ESPN and Fox, and I predict they will not do anything there. I mean, I'm sure they'll be on the broadcast, but it's just, it's whatever.
So did ESPN hire Mullen? He's going to be like the recruiting analyst. Is that what it was?
I don't know. I don't know his position, but
that was sarcasm.
Oh, okay. Hold on. I understand now. I understand.
Well, wait until the summer to be the recruiting analyst.
There you
Correct.
go.
Yeah, they'll wait until the off season to talk about that stuff. In other news, this is So a brief note: we are recording this on Sunday, August 21st. This airs Thursday, and as we speak right now, the Cleveland Browns are beating the Philadelphia Eagles 20-14. Not sure who's starting. I'm sure we'll see the ramifications of that on Thursday. Just a side note. Later today, the Bengals play the Giants, and the Ravens play the Cardinals. I predict Cardinals come away with the win, and the Bengals come away with the win. Those are later tonight, 7 and 8.
Ravens are on a undefeated preseason streak.
Not anymore, bucko. Another bit of information we'll be covering. Just go through recruiting this week. Top 5 schools remain the same as last week. Alabama number 1, Texas 2, Notre Dame 3, Ohio State 4, Georgia 5. Teams are right below them trying to climb back into the top 5. LSU, Oklahoma, Clemson, Miami, and Florida make up the rest of the top 10. All right, we will now be moving on straight into Week 0 predictions. The last weekend without college football. Thank goodness. Praise be, Lord willing. Amazing college football. So we have the loser bowls. That is quite obvious with Week 0, but anything is better than no college football. Am I right?
True.
It's true. It's fake, but hey, we'll take it.
I will take it. So I'm going to start off with the much-awaited matchup, Vanderbilt versus Hawaii. The much-awaited loser bowl. So I've actually got Vanderbilt. I mean, it's not too big of a surprise. Hawaii is just a mess of a program right now. Both of them are. But, we're going to have a lot more Vanderbilt hate on this program today. But, it's Vanderbilt's favored by 6.5. Over-under is 55. I'm going to take Vanderbilt for the win. And next, I have Nevada versus New Mexico State. Judging on, Nevada went to, anyone remember what bowl they went to last year? I think that was the Quick Lane Bowl, right? That was.
They had Carson Strong as their QB?
Yes. And that was last year, and that was versus Western Michigan, I think. Maybe. I might be wrong, but I think it was against Western Michigan. Maybe not. I don't know. But they're favored at 9, and the over-under is 50.5. I'm going to take Nevada for the win. They got that strong freshman quarterback, Carson Strong. First pass right out of the game. that I remember the starting quarterback got injured and Carson Strong had to come in, like a 50, 80-yard pass, something like that. Touchdown, first play of the game. And we can, maybe we can show a clip of that down there in the boxes in the side. We're going to keep up to date on our editing skills here, revamping every chance we get. Next, Wyoming versus Illinois. The line is Illinois -10.5, or -10, minus straight 10. Over-under is 44, so it should be classic Big Ten football, low-scoring game. I've got the Illini coming in, or Illini.
Illini? Yeah.
Illini. I said Illini on accident. Whoops. But we're gonna have I have them coming away with a win. Should be pretty easy, but it might be closer than it should be. Next, I got Charlotte versus FAU. I'm gonna have Charlotte coming away with the upset. I think is Willie Taggart still at FAU?
Yes. Yep.
Judging on his past coaching record and record in general, I'm going to count Charlotte as the upset. The line is FAU -7.5. Over under is 57.5. So no defense. But I got Charlotte coming away with the win. That is at FAU. So a sweltering day. It says predicted 84 degrees, which actually isn't that bad, but
that's not bad. That sounds pretty nice, honestly.
There's a chance of thunderstorms. So hopefully that's not the case. All right. So those are my predictions. We all split these up. So we'll go on to whoever's next, whoever wants to go next with their week 0 predictions.
I'll jump into mine. I have the Governors of Austin Peay State University in Clarksville, Tennessee versus Western Kentucky. Interesting matchup because those two schools are very close and as far as geography, and they're very close program-wise. I know Western Kentucky had a very good year last year. I don't know how much they return. I'm sure they return some of that firepower, especially on offense. Austin Peay got on a roll last year and won about 3 or 4 straight games in conference. I think this game is going to be closer maybe than the experts think. Right now, Western Kentucky's favored at 94.5% chance to win this football game. And we all know how it is when the FCS schools go and play the FBS schools. You're going to get their best shot. Now, in the past, Austin Peay has not played great against FBS programs in the last 4 or 5 years. They've kind of gotten blown out. There's never been a scare. So I don't think that they're going to get the win, but I think they'll keep it close for a little while, and Western Kentucky will obviously win it. I also have Nebraska versus Northwestern. Nebraska's favored by 13 right now. I think it's closer than that, but I do think Nebraska gets the win. Scott Frost is in desperate need of some wins. He's been close. He's been really close, and this might be the year that he kind of gets that thing righted. Northwestern's very well coached by Pat Fitzgerald as well. They had a terrible year last year, a down year for them. I think Nebraska gets a close win on the road.
I'm a homer Nebraska fan. I love Scott Frost. Ever since he got there, I've always liked him. He seems like a great guy ever since UCF, but he's in dire need of a win. I'm strongly rooting for Nebraska to do something this year. They were so close. The best 3-8 team in college football history. They almost beat Michigan, Michigan, Oklahoma, half the teams that they played. It was within 3 points. So that's pretty depressing.
Yeah.
So
we'll see if they can put it together this year. And then my last game I picked was the biggest blockbuster of them all. Duquesne versus Florida State.
Oh, yeah. Oh, my goodness.
Florida State has a 99.5% chance to win this football game, and I'm surprised it's not 99.9 or 100.
Yeah, seems a little low.
Yeah, let's just put it this way. If Duquesne beats Florida State in Tallahassee, Mike Norvell will not be on the bus, or he will not be in the locker room, let's say, after the since he got home. AD will pull him off the field and say, thanks for your service. Have a nice career. All right. So I got Florida State winning that game, though, big. And I think Florida State has a chance to be decent this year, but we'll see. We're not going to be able to tell by a win over Duquesne, though.
Tickets are $15 if we want to head over to Tallahassee that weekend.
No,
Head over.
Hey, that's not bad.
Yeah, you think it'd be a little higher because they overcharge you there, but
Seriously.
All right.
All right, so my turn up. I have first one, Idaho State versus UNLV. Bengals versus Rebels. FBI has the Rebels with a 93% chance to win. Not those Rebels, though. Nevada, Las Vegas, UNLV Rebels. Both teams failed to win more than 2 games last year. Idaho State with 1 and UNLV with 2. But somehow UNLV is probably going to win this game really big. UNLV has 2 wide receiver transfers, and they have a QB transfer, Harrison Bailey from Tennessee. So I don't know. Maybe they'll be okay. I mean, it's just overall not 2 very interesting teams. But, yeah, I'll give UNLV the W on this one. Next up, I have UConn versus Utah State. Huskies only had 1 win last year, but Utah State actually had 11 wins and won the Jimmy Kimmel Bowl against Oregon State. Who cares? It's one of those bowl
That's
games.
A great bowl game. Don't
yes.
underrate Jimmy Kimmel.
Excuse me. Yeah, he's like the worst version of Jimmy Fallon.
That's a hot take right there.
Yes, seriously. Yeah, UConn is just really bad, and Utah State has ever since Jordan Love has been a pretty consistent 9-10 win team. So just like they always do, I'm sure UConn will lose this game and continue to be a bottom feeder.
There you go, Vandy fans. Not just hating on Vandy, he's hating on UConn.
Oh
yeah. Yeah. The line is Utah State minus what? 27.5.
Wow.
Yeah, and
and they both suck.
Let's take the points.
Well, I guess not Utah State. Yeah. Utah State's not that bad, but continue.
Next up is the Tar Heels, North Carolina versus Florida A&M. FBI gives North Carolina a 99.6% chance to win this game, and yeah, they're going to win, obviously. I mean, North Carolina didn't have a great season last year. They came close to beating Pitt in overtime and almost beat NC State, but I mean, they lost to FSU and they lost to South Carolina really bad in the Mayo Bowl. And Florida A&M actually had a good season, but they're playing teams like Jackson State, Bethune-Cookman, Alabama State. So I'm sure North Carolina is just going to get this easy win. And last one is North Texas versus UTEP. UTEP Miners went 7-6 with a bowl game appearance against Fresno State, and the Mean Green had an opposite record going 6-7, but they won 5 of their last 6 regular season games to have a bowl game appearance. Both teams are pretty average in their conference, so they're pretty much going to win 5 to 7 games every year. All the moms will be happy to know that the Pioneer woman's son is playing linebacker for North Texas. But their starting quarterback is Austin On, I guess, who I'm waiting for him to accept my follow request on Instagram. So if you're watching, Austin, please do that. But both of these teams are pretty average. I mean, North Texas has a 60% chance to win. So I guess they'll win. But it's kind of just a coin toss of who's more average.
The line is even. The line is even, everyone. That'll probably be the best game of the day. It's at 9 p.m.
Appearance.
9 p.m.
Gotta stay up late to watch that one. Go Mean
I'm
Green.
not watching that game.
All right.
What's that going to be on ESPN? The Ocho? Is that where it was on?
Actually, I don't know. It's in the Sun Bowl, El Paso. Tickets as low as $22, everyone.
So more expensive than Tallahassee.
Yeah, seriously.
I'd rather go to Doak Campbell than that.
All right. Next, we have reactions to the AP Top 25, which came out when? When did that come out? That was this past week, but
yeah.
Was it the beginning of the week, Monday? But I don't remember. So Craig, how about you take us off with this reaction to the AP Top 25?
Absolutely. So what I've done, and I've divided 3 columns. One is my That's Right column, where I believe, hey, that's probably where they're going to be. That's a good ranking for them based on what everybody saw last year and maybe what they have coming back. Then I have the Show Me column, which is maybe, but I'm not sure. So they're going to have to show me. And then I have the say what column where it's, are you kidding me? They're ranked there. So I'll kind of go through those. So in my that's right column, number 1, Alabama. Who on this show or that's listening is going to bet against Nick Saban? Please raise your hand. Okay. Didn't think so. All right. Then I've got Ohio State in there as well. Ohio State to me is one of the few teams that's going to be able to compete for the national championship every year. Ryan Day has that team going in the right direction. Georgia's another one.
And he has a beard now. Ryan Day has a beard now, so he can do anything. He can do anything he wants.
Then he's going to actually, they'll be better than 6 where they finished last year. So that's about right. He's more wise. They'll be number 2 this year. I've got Georgia. I think Georgia takes a step back, but I do think that's about right at number 3. And then I jump to number 12. Does anybody know who number 12 is?
Come after me. I'm a man. I'm 40.
Oklahoma State Cowboys, Mike Gundy. Teach me how to Gundy, right? So number 12, I think that's right. They were 12-2 last year, finished number 7 on the year, and he's a man, okay? He's a man, and they're going to finish probably at number 12 or better. He's done a great job with the program. Number 20, that's right, Kentucky. Again, another guy that's done a great job with it, Mark Stoops. Finished 18 last year. 20 is a good spot for the start. And then at 22, I've got Wake Forest I think that's right. Dave Clawson, I don't think people appreciate how good of a coach Dave Clawson is. To be able to have Wake Forest at 11-3, ranked 15th in the country last year, is incredible. He's built a great program there, and he's just continuing it going on. All right, my show me column. Clemson at number 4. Show me, right? I know they've got a great defense coming back. The quarterback is a huge, huge question, I think, for all of us. It was kind of – they weren't a championship level team last year, obviously. They won 10 games, great. Pat on the back, good job, Clemson. Not their standard and Dabo Swinney standard either. So they got to show me. Notre Dame's got to show me as well. I don't know that they're number 5. Oklahoma's ranked number 9. They have to show me as well. And then Michigan's got to show me at number 8 as well. Jim Harbaugh, great year last year, beat Ohio State. But can they do it back-to-back? They've been very inconsistent. So they're going to have to show me. Then my say what column. Number 6, Jimbo Fisher and Texas A&M. Say what? Okay, they finished the season receiving votes last year. Okay, I get it. SEC, they got talent, tough place to play. But say what? I don't think they're a top 6 team. 14, USC. They were not even ranked last year. No votes, nothing. He's done a lot with the transfer portal and all that. I get it, right? But USC has been, for lack of a better phrase, I was going to say something else, but very poor. Okay. For them to go from not ranked to number 14th, all hail Lincoln Riley, if this is the case, but I don't see it. And then Oregon, take a step ahead there. Oregon at number 11. Say what? I don't think so. Dan Lanning, first-year head coach. I think he's a great coach. We'll see how good of a head coach he is. I don't see him at number 11. And then my last one is Cincinnati at 23. Luke Fickell, very, very good football coach. I know they lost a lot in defense. 7 starters back on offense, 4 on defense. This guy's going to have his team higher than 23rd. I can guarantee it. What do you guys think?
You can start.
Okay. I'm not sure how good Cincinnati's going to be. I mean, they start off with a pretty tough game against the Hogs, Woo Pig, and
yes, sir.
It'll never get old.
Desmond Ritter. They lost Desmond Ritter, so I don't know. Sauce Gardner's gone too. I mean, they'll be all right in the American, but I don't know. 23 seems like a good spot in my opinion.
Me next?
Yes.
All right. I definitely agree with all those. If I were to add a couple, I would do Miami in the show me. They're ranked at number 16. Coaches poll has them at 17. Oh, yeah. I think Mario, as I said last time, he's building a program, and recruiting says that, definitely. But at 16, I agree. Same with Clemson. I probably put them where Miami is at 16. I mean, 10-3, it's good. As a Florida fan, I would love a 10-3 season every once in a while. but they got to show me to be number 4. I mean, come on. They weren't a number 4 caliber team last year. And the only way we can see that is when they prove it on the field, which will now be my catchphrase on this show. Wake Forest, I don't think so. I think that's in the say what column. That loss with Sam Hartman, that's rough. That's easily, Sam Hartman was easily their best player on the team, and now he is out for the season. We still don't know why, like I'm very curious to see what comes of that. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah.
Let's see.
Sam Hartman, he's a great guy too. I remember him on the QB1 show on Netflix. He was just down to earth, actual good person, unlike Spencer Rattler on there. So
we'll do a Spencer Rattler dish program.
yeah.
That
I support that.
Yeah, QB1 did not display his whatever sort of humbleness he claims to have. That it really didn't support that very well. I'm sorry, Spencer Rattler. I'm sure he'll do fine at South Carolina, maybe. Breaking news for Florida, interrupting the broadcast. Billy Napier expects Ricky Pearsall, transfer from Arizona State, to be back with the team this week, but it's uncertain if he'll be fully participant. That will impact the game against Utah, for sure. He was from fall camp. He's been like our number 1 wide receiver guy. Transfer from Arizona State. Very, very, very good player. But he injured his foot or something. I don't even know. They didn't really say. But he will be out, apparently back with the team this week. So hopefully he'll be able to play for game 1 versus Utah, which the Swamp will be packed during that game. Packed. Sold out 2 weeks in advance. All right, let us move on. Coach C has a new segment, Tales from the Top 20. Which is what we're calling this segment. Tell us what it's about, Coach.
Yeah, so as mentioned earlier, every single week we'll be talking top 20, whether it's records from the past week, sometimes having guests on certain weeks to discuss maybe what their strategy was on their picks or how they did what they did in their 20-0 record for the week, which is really the elusive 20-0 record. There has been record of a 20-0 record for a week. I haven't seen it since I've been on the top 20. I've never seen it. So those things like Sasquatch, like supposedly it's out there, but nobody's ever seen it.
So give us some elaboration for the viewers who don't know what it is. What is the top 20?
What is the top 20? So the top 20 is basically family and friends that get together every single week and make their selections on 20 games in the world of college football. The editor sends that out and we return those picks every week, and it goes every week for the duration of the season all the way through the bowls. And at the end of that season, there is a crowned winner for the top 20. And it's mostly bragging rights, small prize. So it just gives us a great outlet to be able to say who we think is going to win, put our picks in, and have some bragging rights. And as I've always said, it gives us a reason to watch Duke versus Vanderbilt from week to week. So,
and I heard rumor, I heard from my mom that like this was all started like with our Uncle Steve and Papa and a couple other guys who I can't remember, but like
yes.
all the way like 30 plus years ago, like
so
on paper.
Yeah, I believe it started in the 60s, all the way back to my dad's Uncle Jim.
Wow.
And so it's grown quite a bit since then. We have anywhere from 24 to 26 people that pick every single week, and it's all over the country. And so it's kind of a neat deal that we can be connected through college football. So,
and because Noah doesn't fully understand the scope. He's a new member. Since last year.
Only 2-year member.
Yeah, two-year member. So he does. Now you fully understand the scope.
I do.
The 60s.
Back since the 60s. Hey, 2060. If we're still doing this show, we got to do like a whole anniversary special, 100-year anniversary.
Seriously.
Yeah, I'll be on a walker by then.
In the home.
So was last year your first year, Noah, or you've had 2 years of picking?
It's been 2 years of picking.
Okay. So awesome. So what I've done is kind of just to get because we initially sent this show out to our top 20 list and had them, hopefully watch and kind of take part of what we're doing here. So what I've done is I put together power rankings for our top 20 members. Now this has people that maybe only did 1 or 2 years, and maybe we're not sure if they're coming back to do top 20 or not, but I'll just kind of go through it. I looked at the number of years. So seniority was a factor, the average rank, and this is over the last 10 years, not the last, 50, 60. Looked at their average rank from year to year, their winning percentage from year to year, how many championships they had won, and how many top 5 finishes and how many bottom 5 finishes. So I kind of did a little matrix where it spit out this power score. And so we'll kind of go through them. At 28th, so we had 28 members in the last 10 years. Some are not active. John CH. John CH is our 28th. All right. 27th is my wife, Mary Beth. 26 is Candace Candito. 25 is Dean. 24 is David. 23 is Darren. 22 is Steve. 21 is Larry. And in at 20 is my friend Natty Noah. Caleb at 19.
Hey, I'm not last.
Caleb at 19. Jason at 18. Ted at 17. TJ's father. Matt at 16. Lindsay 15. TJ at 14. Justin there's a tie for 11th. So it jumped all the way to number 11 because there's a 3-way tie for 11th with Lucy, Juan, and Justin. I came in at number 10. Dan and Jeff are tied at 8. Tammy at 7. Jake at 6. Delane 5. Carrie Beth 4. Steven 3, who's a very new member actually. Russell at 2. And then our number 1 power ranking member is John Candito. So if we kind of break it down real quick. So John has won 4 out of the last 10 championships. So obviously he's never finished outside the top 5, which is pretty incredible. Our other champions were Russell with 1, Steven with 1, Carrie Beth, Delane, Juan, and Justin all have won a championship within the past 10 years. And so you start looking at it and you see some top 5 finishes, bottom 5. So if you finish in the bottom 5, which I did when you really hurt my power ranking, but if you have all top 5 finishes like John does for some of the others, it really puts you in a good position. So it was just kind of neat to see and look. So that doesn't mean that can't change this year, guys, but we thought you might be interested kind of seeing where you stack within the last 10 years as far as the power rankings. Just kind of a neat little thing that I did. So John's at a 71%, 0.718. 71.8% winning percentage over the last 10 years. Next closest, obviously, is Russell with 71.1%. So it's close. And we go all the way down to 59%. So if you're a math person, if you can get 71 or 72% of your games right this year, you're probably going to dethrone the champion.
And for those who are not inside the family circle, you will most likely see a good amount of these people possibly at some point on the show. We are planned for a special guest from the top 20. Hopefully in the next couple of weeks, we're still solidifying things. And we will announce who that is pending, scheduling things in the next couple shows. So, but yeah, that's a great list. I'm glad I'm not last, as John CH is.
John CH is a new member, so he's only been around 3 years. So he's still cutting his teeth, trying to figure this whole deal out. He did have some rough years, obviously.
It would help if he sent in his picks every week.
And that's also the rule is, and some of these people suffer from that, which my wife was one of those when she was on the top 20. The rule is if you don't send your picks back before the kickoff, that's the rule, that you get the worst record for the week. So some of these people don't ever send their picks back and they get the worst record for the week. And that's part of the reason their picks are. They're not necessarily a 59% forecaster. They just don't ever send their picks back. So, hey, got to be disciplined to get those picks back in.
You better watch out. Now, there is a possibility of getting kicked off, which has happened with Mary Beth. She got kicked right out.
I think she removed herself officially, but she's back.
Like
the
Nixon.
Commissioner and the editor had a meeting, and they actually approved her.
Oh, my. Breaking news.
Hey,
Breaking news.
Alabama people now, watch out.
Oh, yeah.
The
Fellow
former
Alabama fan.
The former Crimsonette, I will add. Maybe we can have her on the show. She can pop in. She can do some marketing for. Yeah. She resigned like Nixon before she got kicked out. She resigned.
It is a trend that some of the people that are towards the bottom have cut themselves free of the top 20. But hey, we welcome all. Hey, because how can we be up in the middle or the top section if there's not people at the bottom, right?
Yeah, you got to have some people suck, like Vanderbilt.
We
love you, Vandy. We really do. We really do, Vandy. We love you. We want you to be our engineers and all that, but we're pulling for you. We're pulling.
Hey, my French horn friend just enrolled. He just got his room at Vandy, and he said everything is great. The music program is phenomenal. So I apologize, Vanderbilt fans, but you are bad at football. So this is a football show. So put 2 and 2 together. You do math, right? So, you should be able to do that. We're going to slander you, but I'm a fan of the university. I'll say that.
Yeah, they give teams like Missouri hope that they can make like the Armed Forces Bowl.
All right, we will now take a short break, get a little recap of what we talked about so far on the show, and we will come back to our new segment, What's Cooking?, where we answer your burning questions about college football. All right, welcome to our new segment, What's Cooking?, where we answer your burning questions about college football and sports in general. Number 1 from Greg, who is from Sewanee, Georgia. He says, do you think Stetson Bennett is the real deal or a one-hit wonder? We talked about this a little bit on the show last week. Me personally, I think he's a fine quarterback. I think he has much learning to do, but I don't think he's going to lead Georgia to another national championship like last year. What do you guys think?
Oh, yeah, I agree. I said it last week. I don't think Stetson Bennett is that good. I think if he was a quarterback in the 80s, he would be like lights out because Jay Barker, quarterback for Alabama, won a national championship, and he like barely had 50% completion rate. But, I mean, in this day and age, when you have QBs like Bryce Young all around, Joe Burrow a few years ago, like, I don't know. He's kind of just like a game manager, which if you have a strong defense like last year, that'll work. But I don't know. I don't know how good he'll be this year just because Georgia overall is not going to be as talented.
I 100% agree with you, Natty. I think that with a strong defense, he can win you a national championship. Is Georgia's defense going to be as strong? If you're looking at the player himself, he's a very good player. Don't get me wrong. He's a tough kid. He works hard. He tries to do the best that he can, and he's talented. I mean, he's not as talented as some of the other players out there, but he is a scratcher and claw, and he's going to get it done. He's tough. If he doesn't have as much help around him, he's not going to make it happen. And I don't know that he's going to have it this year. So a good season, but not probably national championship level.
Yeah, and this is kind of on the lines of a couple years ago. I mean, like, what is more important, like a good offense or a good defense? And like, can you have a really good offense without good defense and vice versa? That's kind of been the topic of conversation. Because, I mean, from a Florida standpoint, I mean, 2 years ago we had, the Trask fun and gun type, just throw it down the field all the time. But our defense was absolutely garbage, and we managed to outscore opponents like, we talked about a little bit last week with Ole Miss and stuff. But in the past, Florida has kind of drifted around defense first, at least in the past 15 years, with Muschamp, McElwain, and everything. But our offense has been garbage, and we couldn't do much because of that. So I think, there obviously has to be a balance. I prefer not to have to, outscore opponents every time. But, that's sometimes how it is. Not nowadays. I think, that 2020 year was like huge for offense. That whole year. I mean, Alabama had the phenomenal offense. LSU was there, kind of. But Florida, Georgia, not so much. And then it kind of switched, coming into the 2021 season. It was primarily defense focused, I feel like. So I just kind of find that interesting, how the balances shift every couple of years in college football. So, all right. And question 2 is Joel from Navarre, Florida. What can I expect from my Seminoles this year? Is this the year they finally get on top of the ACC? What do you guys think about that?
I personally, I don't know. Jimbo left FSU in honestly a pretty bad position. So I'm not sure. And then it got worse when Willie Taggart was hired. So, I mean, Mike Norvell, he's been hovering around 6-7 wins a year. Their recruiting's been in the top 20, but there's just teams that are so much better than them. So I think maybe in a year or two, I think Jordan Travis as a quarterback is underrated, but I don't know. I still think FSU is in yet another rebuilding year.
Yeah, I think 7 to 9 wins, somewhere in that range probably. I know they won 7 last year. 9 wins is the high for me. They've got some tough games. They've got Wake and Clemson at home, which I probably think they'll lose both of those. Possibly could beat Wake. And then they're at Miami and at NC State. So those are tough road games in the ACC. I think both those programs are going to be good this year compared to where Florida State is. So if they can win half of those, they may have a shot at 9. But I see it more in that 7 to 8 range. They've got guys back. I believe in Mike Norvell's plan. But when you've got Clemson, NC State, and Wake in front of you right now in that conference on your side, I just don't see them jumping over those guys this year. But like you said, Natty, maybe next year.
I got it. Say it one more time. Just like last week's show. Cut the head off. Not going to happen this year. Losing season.
Oh.
I'm going to
Really?
say it.
I don't know, man.
Hey, I can go with a 5-win season. I say 5 to 6. It's going to be
This is your unbiased opinion, right? Nothing to do with the fact that you're a Florida guy.
I mean, I can really see it. I can see it.
Well, you could say that about every team in the nation.
Okay, well, I could. I mean, it may be a little biased. Hey, we'll get this shirt right over here. We can talk.
Oh, I know what shirt this is. Yeah.
We can talk right this for a second with this shirt right here.
What's
Just
it
like that.
Is he eating
Got a
Seminole?
gator
Seminole.
eating
Right
that
into now. Just like that.
Tasty. Nice.
That's how I think it's going to end up. But, it is a little biased. But, hey, I think Mike Norvell is on the hot seat, though.
You think
real
so?
talk. I really think so. I mean, he's had – hey, his past records have not been good. I as you said, if they lose to Duquesne, obviously there's some issues. But, I mean, they did lose to James Madison last year.
No.
Or Jackson State.
Yeah, Jackson.
Jacksonville State. Don't
Jacksonville
talk
State.
about Dion's program like that
Which
now.
is worse.
Dion would have beat him.
Not Dion, Coach. His name is Coach.
Coach Prime, I'm sorry.
Coach Prime.
Prime time.
So,
Yeah, it was the Alabama Jacksonville State, which is inexcusable to lose. To.
Oh, yeah.
Very good FCS, about to move up, I think, eventually to FBS at some point. Florida State should lose to Jacksonville State.
I mean, all right. I mean, if we'll see how it goes. When Florida beats FSU, you can contact me. Then we'll talk. But last year it was rough. So maybe they'll have a better season. I think that college football is better when FSU is better. I think that college football is better when Tennessee's better, and the like with other teams as well. So, maybe hopefully there will be more balance in college football. So that concludes our segment this week of What's Cooking, and we'll move into our final words after this break. All right, guys, thanks for joining us today on Eat More Football. This show is gladly sponsored by the Top 20 and that whole organization with our family. We are so thankful for that and the opportunity to do that every single year for college football. We are so excited for this season to get underway. Make sure to follow us on Instagram and Twitter at Eat More Football. And you can email us questions, comments about the show, advice, anything at eatmorefb@gmail.com. Thanks everyone for joining us, and we'll see you on the next show. God bless.